Hey everybody, Alex Goff here to talk a little bit about the men's 15s national team. Just very briefly, the big question is, should USA Rugby just pull the trigger, pull the ripcord, whatever you want to call it, and hire Scott Lawrence? Now, I used to be the sort of thing that I would do is advocate for somebody to be it and be the coach and stuff like that, and I've tended to shy away from that over the last few years for a number of reasons, one of which is a realization that there's always something I don't know. But I will say that I do get the impression that Scott wants the job, and certainly got that from our podcast interview that we had just recently.
You know, I think on the other side of it, there are a number of things that are conditions. If I was handed the job, that I would want to have in place. I'm not interested in doing it like it's been done before. I'd like to achieve something with our national team. So I think the contracts have been, financial based, mostly towards the coach, and kind of watertight for job security based on just where the union's at. But most of the stuff I'm looking for is more orientated towards player and pathway investment. That's what I want written into the contract.
Now, has the USA been perfect within their high performance environment with Scott Lawrence as the interim high performance manager? Of course not. But a ton of really good things have happened. As Lawrence mentioned in the podcast, the amount of work done for the age grades, especially for all the age grades, U23 women especially, U20 women, U20 men, and U18 men. Those teams all together played more than we've ever seen them play. That's terrific. That's great. And that's the influence of Scott Lawrence because he cares about that. There was the comment made from outgoing USA Rugby CEO Ross Young that kind of implied like, well, maybe there's a place for Scott Lawrence because he cares about the age grades a lot. So maybe that's where he should be.
Scott wasn't quite sure how that was going to work out when the project started. None of us did, but now he's building into it. So the ongoing dialogue with Scott has been as much about what he's wanted to do as well as he's been dealing with all these different parts, rather than it's not us holding off because we don't want to offer Scott a job. Scott also has used this time to assess what he sees is in place and also get his head around where he wants his focus to be moving forward as well.
Now, is that a little bit of a slight? Is that saying, well, he's not really down with the senior national team? I think Lawrence is definitely down with the senior national team. It's just that he sees it all as combined and sees it all as one major high-performance family. He's actually right. That's exactly what it is. So, looking ahead, Lawrence wants to be head coach and HPGM for men's rugby. I think that makes sense. And I'll tell you something else. The people who are out there that we as American rugby people, we as USA Rugby, things like that, we've hired, have always been brought in with some statement saying that they're going to mentor American coaches and get them ready to take over this kind of position. And then do they? Well, kind of, sort of. Sometimes they don't at all. Do they move to the United States? Well, kind of, sort of. Most of the times they don't at all. Do they cost a lot of money? Yes. And there's been a hometown discount for Americans ever since, really. But the big thing for me is if Scott Lawrence isn't the one who's prepared to do it, is anybody ever going to be? I mean, what kind of experience do you need? Do you need to coach internationally? Well, he's done that. Do you need to coach professionally? Well, he's done that. Do you need to organize and oversee major high-level rugby organizations like a professional organization or an international organization? Yeah, he's done that. Do you need to understand budgeting and some of the more boring parts of the job, which have a lot to do with just figuring out where money goes and where the airplane tickets are bought and where the kit goes and all that stuff? Well, you know what? He's done that as well. So again, I'll ask you, if he's not the guy, if he doesn't have what it takes, then you know what? maybe those of you who are making this hiring decision are just thinking about a hire that'll look good.